If I were starting a YouTube channel today at age 55, knowing what I know now, there are a few things I would stop doing immediately. Not because they're wrong, but because they're a waste of time. And if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you've started a YouTube channel but you're just stuck in all the muck, this video is going to help you get that little push that you need to get started without all this overwhelm that's going on in your brain. We're going to have a nice little chat today. Hey, I'm Dee Dee Parody, and we've all had this moment where we said, you know what? I could do this. I could be a YouTuber. I want to start a channel on YouTube. And then we think, and we think, and we think, and we do nothing about it except learn and never put action to it. But today, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to help you change that. Most people our age, they don't fail at YouTube. They really just overthink themselves out of starting to begin with. The very first thing I would do is decide on my niche. Not think about it for weeks and weeks or months and months. Decide today and pick the thing that I know the most about, or the thing that I could talk about without running out of things to say, and commit to it. What could I talk about on and on forever? And I can't tell you how many times I tried that theory where I asked my husband what he thought I was good at that I could talk about on YouTube. And I got the same answer every single time out of this dude. He said, I don't know, you're good at everything. And I'm like, gee, thanks. I just need the one thing. But that's your thing. You know what that is. And what you got to realize is what you start talking about matters far less than not starting at all. You don't have to get it perfect. You're allowed to change and pivot your channel. I've done it. And a lot of creators you watch out there right now, they've done it. Your first niche, it's just a good starting point. It's not a life sentence. You're not going to sit here forever. But you can't steer a parked car, so you have to have something, and you got to start driving. You got to start moving in the right direction. The next thing I would do, I'd write a script today and hit record. That's it. You don't worry about what you're wearing. Don't stress about whether your background looks good enough. And don't wait until you figure out all the technicalities and the perfect lighting and the perfect setup. I would write down what I want to say, practice it a couple of times, and then just press record. Just go for it. Because guess what? Nobody is expecting you to have a perfect video from a brand new creator. They're looking for somebody who's real and who has something valuable to say. And that's the most important. It's what you say. And you have that value right now. And all you need is that phone that's sitting on your kitchen counter. And yes, now I have my lighting set up. And now I have my background where I want it. But in the beginning, I didn't. So I want to tell you about the thing that I really got wrong. And I hope it'll save you a lot of heartache, because I worked so hard on my videos when I first got started. I mean, I worked really, really hard. I actually recorded my first few videos for this channel well over a year ago, and I stopped because I was trying too hard. I couldn't get it just right. I tried everything. I tried scripting, I tried bullet points, I tried recording in different places in my house. I felt unprofessional, and I wanted to be professional, but it just wasn't coming. So I watched my videos and I felt frustrated. I don't think I looked right. I didn't think I sounded right. I hated everything about my videos, so I quit. I went on a long, stupid learning safari, if you will, watching YouTube videos at 2 o'clock in the morning and rearranging my recording setup like that was going to be the big breakthrough. But instead, I should have just hit record again and posted it. And I thought that because I needed to be perfect, that I wasn't ready. But can you imagine if I had started a year ago, where would I be today? When I finally realized that all of that didn't matter, none of that matters. None of it did matter. I posted a video and I realized I'd waited all that time for nothing. I posted one video, then I learned from there. I learned better titles and better thumbnails and made another video. And then I learned some editing skills, and then I made another video. You see what I'm saying? You don't need to be perfect on your first video. Now, there are some things that you have to take into consideration. You don't want to look like messy, and if you have to record in your bedroom, let's say that's your only spot to record, at least make your bed. You want people to take you seriously, and a lot of times like an unmade bed, or if you're in your kitchen and there's crumbs all over the counter, at least wipe the counter off. And I'm not saying this has to be perfect. People really don't care as long as what you're saying is valuable. Because YouTube, it doesn't reward our efforts. It rewards our strategy. And strategy doesn't always come before we start. It comes while we're moving, while we're in the process. I was trying to come up with a good analogy here, but all I could think about was a battlefield. Yes, the Marines and the Army and all those people practice beforehand, but they never really know what's going to happen until they get on the battlefield. And that's where the strategy comes in. The strategy happens as it's progressing. And you can do this, but you've got to start so you can find your strategy. You just got to press record. Here's the other thing I had to learn the hard way. Not everybody can just watch a few YouTube videos about starting a channel and just go do it. Some people can, and that's amazing, but most people can't. So don't feel bad if this is you. It might just mean that you need somebody to walk you through the specific step you're stuck on, because until you actually start the process, you don't know what that step is. You may not even be aware of what you're doing wrong. You have to get into the nitty-gritty before you even know what questions to ask. So this past week, I went to a YouTube mastermind in Las Vegas, and I saw a team of over 20 people whose entire job is YouTube. 20 people who know this platform inside and out. And I mean, it was amazing. They're strategists and editors, thumbnail designers, analysts. It was all of it. And you know, you name it, they already know how to do it. And they know how to solve it. And it was really nothing short of amazing. And there were around, I'd say 80 other YouTubers there learning from these 20 people. And they're from all different places in their YouTube journey. They were beginners who they hadn't even started posting their first videos yet. But there were also people there that had over 100,000 subscribers. And what I'm saying is this is a never-ending learning journey. They were all there to learn something, how to move their channel forward. There are many people out there, though, that are trying to learn this by ourselves. And I thought that if I asked for help, that it meant I couldn't figure it out on my own. I'm kind of stubborn that way. I like to figure things out and have that wow moment where I was like, oh yes, I did it. But there is nothing wrong with asking for help, because asking for help, it really speeds up your learning process. And if you're like me, I'm a chronic learner, but sometimes I'm really delayed in putting action to it. So you have two choices. You can either go the hard road and figure it out all by yourself through trial and error and a whole lot of frustration, believe me, I know, or you can get help. And not just any help, but specific targeted help for exactly where you are right now in your process. I'm not talking about hiring a team, a VA, an editor. I'm talking about finding somebody that can help you at each stage that you're in. Learn one thing at a time. And if you try to learn packaging while learning how to script and how to use the teleprompter and all the lights, and while dealing with your normal life, like your job, family, grandkids, aging parents, you're going to stumble. So get some targeted, specific help. And you can find this all over YouTube. And yes, I also offer this help. I've got 30-minute calls that help you move from thinking about posting your first video. I've also got 1-hour deep dives that go over your channel and figure out what you should be doing next, what your next moves are, and what you need to work on. But I also have a free community, and it's called the Confident Creator Circle. And it's a place for you to belong and ask questions. See where other women are in this journey and know that you're not alone. And it's a place where you're not the only one that's confused. That's what my community is for. And the links to all this are in the description. And I would love to help you take the next step. Now, I want to talk about something that's holding more of us back than a lot of people are even aware of. We're more aware of time in ways that no one else is. At least I am. And that can make us feel like every decision that we make, we've got a time limit on it. And it's important to get it right the first time. I don't have 10 years to make this thing work. I'm 55 years old. I need this to work fast so that I can retire soon. I ain't got all day to wait around on this. And here's the shift on that one. Starting imperfect is still starting. And starting is more than half the battle. The men and women out there who figure this out are not the ones that waited until everything was perfect. They're the ones that started with whatever they had and got better as they went along. Your videos aren't going to look the same in a year as they do today. Your niche might shift a little or a lot. Your confidence on camera is going to grow. It just happens with practice. Your setup is going to improve, and all that happens naturally once you're in motion. But you got to be in motion, because none of it happens while you're just sitting on the sideline waiting to feel ready. Yes, we're older, but yes, we're wiser. And we've got something that younger creators spend years and years trying to build. We've got credibility, and we've got real life experience. We've already been through all the hard stuff, and we've figured all this stuff out. There's somebody out there that wants to hear how you figured it out. And that's your greatest asset on the camera. We're all different, and we have different things to offer. And in Genesis 1:1, it says that God created the heavens and the earth. And then it goes on a little further to say, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. That very first scripture tells us about God is that He creates. So creativity isn't something we have to try to have. It's something we're designed to do. So it's time that you start creating. Get moving on your path. So here's what I want you to do after this video. I want you to come up with a channel name. Decide on your niche, even if it's not perfect. Just pick your first topic and start practicing. Talk about it a few times. Then hit record and upload it. That's the whole plan. It really is that simple. Even if it doesn't feel that way, then you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again. Fix one or two things each time. Find your camera angle, tighten your message, get better at thumbnails and titles, but don't try to do it all at one time. Find the help you need. Even if it's not me, there are plenty of people out there willing and able to teach you what you need to learn today. I even have a free YouTube starter guide in my description that walks you through every step of setting up your channel in the beginning, from finding your niche to your very first upload. It's a few pages long, but you'll find each individual step. The link's in the description. But I just wanted to give you the push that you need today to get started. You already know you can. You know you can do this. You've said it to yourself, I can do this. You just need to take the action. And my first video, it's still out there. How to start recording with a cell phone. And while you watch that video, see if you notice the improvements I've made. It's a never-ending learning cycle. And you can watch that video right here. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.